We're looking at question 39 on the AP Statistics Midterm Review Packet. In this one, it's one of those Roman numeral multiple choice questions. These are great. They are really good with getting better at definitions, at concepts, at little tiny details. So really, let's go ahead and start this one. Now, which of the following statements is true about the least squares regression line, LSRL? So I'm going to have to read each Roman numeral and go through. So let's just go ahead and start with the first one. The slope is a predicted change in the response variable associated with a unit increase in the explanatory variable. So I have to remember which one's response, which one's explanatory. Remember, explanatory is your x. And so the slope is a predicted change, the change in your least squares regression line. That sounds like slope. Change in y over change in x, or change in predicted y over change in x. I'm going to say that's actual definition. You can see the stem written down there. So a good thing here is, okay, hey, 39, Roman numeral 1, well, maybe I expected to know how to interpret the slope of the least squares regression line. And so that's a good thing to know. You can see the stem above. So I'm going to tell you, Roman number 1, that's true. So that means, by the way, I can, and I would start doing this in Roman numerals, I would start crossing out. I have choice B, choice C crossed out. So I'm going to look at my other choices. I'm going to check Roman numeral 2 next. Not because it's next numerically, but because if that's true, I'm guaranteed E is my answer. If it's not true, then I know D is my answer. So I'm going to check Roman numeral 2. The line always passes through point JM, where J and M are the means of the explanatory and response variable. In other words, your least squares regression line always passes through the point X bar, Y bar. That was addressed in a previous video as well. That is actually a characteristic. Is the least squares regression line is going to always pass through the point X bar, Y bar. So that's true. So Roman numeral 1 is true, Roman numeral 2 is true, which means my answer is E. Done. However, because I need to know this stuff, I'm actually going to read Roman numeral 3 and figure out if that's true or not, which we know what it is. But even just to kind of talk about why it's there. What is the least squares regression line? It is the line that minimizes the sum of the squared residuals. And that's actually in the name. The line that minimizes, that sounds like it's similar to the word least. The sum of the squared residuals, squares, the actual squares themselves. If you square the residuals and add them together, it's the sum of the squared residuals that minimizes it. So the least squares regression line. So that is actually a true explanation of what a least squares regression line is and a characteristic of it. So like I said, we do know our answer, and this one is going to be E, but at least we now understand why all three are true.